Good morning, traders. This is James. I'm very glad to see you back. We are the 19th of April and welcome to my little update. The SOX, the semiconductor index, is trading roughly 62% above its 200-day moving average. That's really huge, and we haven't seen this in the Nasdaq, for example, since the dot-com bubble. This is something very important to tell you. The S&P 500 is correcting on the hourly time frame after hitting its macro resistance. We're going to talk about this today. While the dollar is a bit waking up, what is worrying is the bond market that I call the smart market, which is worried because the inflation risk is currently priced higher and the bond rates are going up, and this is not good. The stock market, which is the dump market, could consider all this a bit too late and react to the downside. The inflation risk could be the ultimate bearish catalyst. So we're going to see all this if this materializes in the coming weeks. Risk assets and defensive assets are moving in correlation, including gold that could be headed toward $4,400. What's super important is that the market is waiting for Nvidia tomorrow after the close. The EPS is expected at $1.75. Some stuff to tell you regarding the Fear and Greed Index, which is still in the greed section. We're still not coming lower in this blue curve in the CNN Fear and Greed Index. Trump posted something last night regarding how he was, according to him, convinced by Saudi Arabia, Qatar and other countries of the Gulf to negotiate more with Iran and to find a deal that is reachable. And the market seems less and less sensitive to Trump's posts, so let's keep an eye on his account still. We're going back to here in the trading view. I'm going to put myself in full mode, in full screen mode like this, and we have a very nice wedge forming in the S&P 500. So let's define what is a rising wedge. A rising wedge is when prices are compressed between two lines that are converging to the upside, and we're like in a bottle of champagne, you know, we're accumulating pressure inside of it, and at some point we're going to break down in general. And that's what happens with a rising wedge in general. Sometimes we can even break up, retest the upper line of the wedge and pump like in such as in very strong uptrends, like in Bitcoin, but also like in indices and in semiconductors, for example. But in general, we go down, and we go down pretty violently after making a little overthrow above the upper line of the wedge. So will this happen in the S&P 500? I don't think so, but that's what happens in general with a rising wedge. And what we could expect in the S&P 500 is a little correction at least, and go maybe, why not, reach the lower line of the wedge before breaking it down. Maybe it would take some time, in my opinion, probably, but we never know with the markets. We need to be open-minded. What's important here is that we already touched this upper line, the resistance line, and we reacted to it last week with this little wick here, and maybe we're going to touch it again after the bell tomorrow with the results of Nvidia and good results, and then maybe after, maybe this summer, we can make a little overthrow and start to go down in a bear market. This is really the bearish scenario, okay? I'm not saying it's going to happen, but this is what you should focus on when you are a market technician. What can I tell you also? The VIX is at 17.6. It's low. At some point it's going to wake up. There was no reaction today despite the expiration of the futures contract, but it's something to watch also. Check the VIX and also, of course, check Nvidia tomorrow evening. I hope you like this video, guys. If you liked it, please like it and subscribe to the channel and share it with your friends. We will talk tomorrow about other stuff. See you tomorrow. Have a nice day. Bye-bye.